One second, I didn't turn off the thing. Sorry about that. It's a horrible accent. And so, oh no, there it is. I thought I didn't have my lotion. I got a new tattoo. Oh, it's my mini Finn. I just took the second skin off today. He has this little flower arm because it's like my bad foot or whatever. Yeah, I'm just gonna do my makeup, and I don't really have this video scripted, but I have said this theory to enough people enough times that I feel like I can make it interesting. Hopefully. I'm gonna put on some makeup. I'm stupidly low on all of my makeup, and I've just been fucking using it because I'm poor and I cannot afford makeup, even though it's drugstore makeup, but it'll still cost me like at least $100 to replace, and that's a lot of money that I'd rather spend on food. Okay, so what sparked me wanting to make this video was the other day I saw a post. And I've seen this post before and I've seen this study before, but essentially, stupid thing, low battery, hopefully it doesn't die. Could I have put it in low power mode? Yes. Did I? No. Okay, so I saw this post and I saved it onto my phone, and I've seen it before, but it's essentially an experiment done on rats, where one of the rats is like locked up in this really uncomfortable, tight cage, and the rats were able to figure out how to open it and free the other rat. Like the free rat was able to free the captured rat that was in this little rat trap. And the more they studied this, the more they found that even if they didn't get a reward, they would still free the rats. Even if the rats weren't friends, like if they were just two stranger rats, they would still free each other. And when presented with like a pile of chocolate chips, they would often save some, like at least one, but often more, to share with the rat. Like they would free the captured rat and then they'd share the chocolate chips. And essentially saying essentially like 5 times in the last minute, but the conclusion of this study was that rats have empathy. Shocker. Humans hardly have empathy. Maybe that's why it was a shocker to them, but it's not a shocker to me. I think most animals, evolutionarily speaking, have an advantage in collaboration, and there are very few animals that don't collaborate with each other in that sense. But okay, how do I start this next part? Sorry, this is not interesting. It's interesting to me, but I'm crazy. So the next thing that it made me think of was this theory that I have about rats, and what made me philosophize this theory that I have about rats and where they're heading evolutionarily speaking is when I was living in Vancouver and we went to the park next to our place, and in the garden beds there was tens, maybe even hundreds of rats living in there. They let them get absolutely out of control, and I just started thinking, as I do, about fucking random shit. Okay, this is gonna be empty after this. I keep saying, oh, on Monday I'm gonna go replace my makeup, and then I never do. So there might be a video somewhere on my channel. It might be in the video where I'm feeding the birds and the squirrels as well. I'm not sure where I had posted it, but I definitely posted it at one point. Just so many rats, like tons of rats, and we were like throwing seeds in there because we brought seeds for the birds. We were throwing seeds in there and they all swarm, and it was really fun and cool to watch. And it made me go down this little rabbit hole brain train of where rats are gonna head in their evolution, because we experiment a lot on rats, and rats are one of the few animals that live in our cities with us. So inevitably, when we destroy the planet and die off as a species, or at least mostly die off as a species, because Mother Nature's not going to die. The Earth isn't going to die unless we literally explode it. But we're going to die. Like, humans won't survive, the planet will. And the next intelligent species could potentially be rats. Rodents are very intelligent, all of that jazz. And then it made me think of these higher beings of rats finding all this evidence of essentially the torture that we've inflicted on them, and it causing like an entire movement within their society where they either go down the trajectory of torturing and killing whatever humans devolve into if we survive, or they're like, we need to be better than the humans, although they probably would have a different name for us. We need to be better than the humans, and then they'll be an actual successful species on this planet instead of one that just absolutely ravages it. Yeah, and there's, I don't know if I explained that well or if that's interesting to anybody, but I find it kind of funny and kind of cool to think about those types of possibilities. I think one of the reasons too that I came to that conclusion is I used to watch this series called Red Dwarf. It's like a British comedy where this guy, so they're out on a spaceship, and this guy, he gets in trouble and he has to go into stasis, but then there's this malfunction on the ship and everyone dies, and the ship keeps him in stasis until it's safe to let him go, but it's been 5 million years, and so it's just him on the ship, and then a hologram of his coworker who he finds super annoying, so they get into all these funny antics and whatnot. And then one of the other main characters is, so the reason he was in stasis, part of the reason he was in stasis is because he brought a cat on board, and you are not supposed to do that. And the cat was pregnant, and so over the 5 million years, these cats evolved into like humanoid creatures. And so there's one of the characters who's probably my favorite character is Cat, and he's what does he say? Oh, I haven't seen it in so long, since I was like a teenager is when I saw it last. Like, am I looking good? Am I looking good now? He's like so self-centered, and it's so hilarious. I'm like, same. So yeah, to the rats, the sentient rat species, please be better than the humans if you ever see this. If you've evolved to the point where you understand some of our languages, and you've uncovered this video out of all of the shit on the internet that actually got views and stuff, but you found this one, be better than us. Chill. No, I'm just using my phone because it's easier than using the mirror. I know it's red. My skin gets red very easily. Leave me alone about it. How about that? But is that kind of... I mean, obviously I'm not a scientist or a biologist or anything like that, but honestly, anything can happen. And I wish I had more people in my life who wanted to talk about like stupid shit like that, because everybody is just so fucking caught up in like, oh, this person did this and that, and oh, isn't it weird, like this happened or that happened between these people, and I'm like, I mean, yeah, and I'll talk about that stuff, it's interesting, but at the same time it's like, can we talk about cool things and funny things and things that actually enrich my brain? I don't know. Am I being pretentious? Probably. I love rats, though, to bring it back around. I think they're really smart and cool creatures. And I lived in Alberta for 5 years, and they don't have any rats, which fair, like rats are a nuisance on public health and safety and just infrastructure and all of that. But the thing is, they don't have rats, but they do have rabbits. They have tons of squirrels. They have, you know, you can't live without rodents and birds. Like rodents and birds are always going to cohabitate with us. Cohabitat? I don't know if that's the right word. There's no escaping the rodents. And so, like, we really should be better to them. It's funny how humans just think we're, like, the top of the food chain. It's like, bro, no, we are not. We are silly monkeys. Humanity, intelligent. Individuals, stupid as hell. Like, our intelligence comes from our collective knowledge and our ability to collaborate and help each other and bounce ideas off each other. Because maybe one person thinks of something in this way and they really figure it out, but then someone comes along with one question and completely dismantles that person's entire reality. And this happens all the time, you know, in science, in life, all of these things. But I don't know if it's always been this way, obviously, because I've only lived 24 years, but one thing I do observe about humanity is, not humanity, but society and individuals, is our ability to completely close off to anybody else's opinions, which I think is very dangerous because you're one human. You can't know everything. All the ideas that you have in the world, speculations, all these things, your worldview, that's yours. And it could be true for you, but just because something's true for you doesn't mean it's true for someone else. And just because this is true to you and this thing contradicts it doesn't mean that thing isn't also true. Like, two things can be true at once. Multiple things can be true at once. 1,000 things can be true at once. And people fail to realize this. And that's the thing, is like, I admit I'm wrong all the fucking time. I am stupid a lot. I say dumb shit, I say the wrong things, I do the wrong things, I'm offensive and abrasive and all of that. One, I'm very willing to apologize if I offend someone. And two, I'm not parading around this planet as if I know everything. And it definitely, when people talk to me, it definitely comes across that way, and I definitely come across as like, oh, I know better than you, but that's not my intention. And anybody who genuinely knows me knows that they can challenge me at any time. And, you know, maybe they are wrong, or maybe I am wrong, and we can meet at our misunderstanding and try to figure out what we mean and not. Now I'm just going on a fucking rant, and this video was about rats. Very Drew Monson. Okay, I think I'll end it here because I'm just ranting.